Hello and welcome back to another video. And today is Saturday and I'm getting ready for Monday's drift practice. So I'm just going over the car, making sure I got all my tires in check, checking all the fluids. And also I wanted to kind of go over my drift car, what I've done to it so far, so you can get an idea of what you need to be able to drift. My car is not like, it's not very expensive, it's not set up perfectly. I've definitely still got a lot to do on the car until I'm happy with it. But I will show you for now what's been done to my car and the things that you can do to your car for cheap to get you out there drifting. So let's take a look at my car and I'll explain to you everything about it. Alright, let's just start with the suspension here. We're not going to worry about my wheels because I'm actually going to be changing these because I don't want to be drifting on these wheels anymore. They're pretty expensive, rare wheels. They're actually BBS style 19s and they need a cleaning. But aside from that, these are going to be my new fronts for now, just so that I don't risk these wheels because they're nice and I don't want to have to repair them. So that's that. Anyways, up front here we've got some Ibachi or Ebach, or however you want to say it, lowering springs. Nothing special. And back here we got some good old cut springs. Now I am upgrading to coilovers very soon. I have them on order and they'll be here soon. But for now, I got lowering springs in the front and cut springs in the rear. It gets the job done. That's basically it. And for an engine, this is the M50B25 that comes stock in the 325i Beamers here. It's a 1993, so it's got single Vanos. The only modification this has is this little air filter. It really doesn't do anything except sounds better. And then what else do we got? And I wired my E-fan up here straight to a switch in my car. E-fan on, E-fan off. I chose to wire my E-fan on like that so I can decide when the fan needs to be on, and when I'm at the track I usually have it on all the time so it keeps cool. So what I did to wire that E-fan is I took one of these out of a BMW E36 I parted out. It's just they're very common relays. It came with this pigtail, power in, power out. So this power here is coming in from the power block. It goes into the relay, and then this is the power that goes out to the fan. Relay's job is the thing with the fans are, they run high amperage, so instead of running thick wires like this, or even thicker all the way to your switch and getting a heavy duty switch inside the car, you can run these skinny gauge wires from the switch to the relay, and then the switch turns on the relay so it can send the actual real power through the relay and to the fan, which is closer. So I don't know if that made any sense to you, but basically, let's boil it down a little bit simpler. Relay's job is you can send a signal from your dash with smaller gauge wire up to the relay, and then the relay then turns on and sends power, higher amperage power, through the relay and to the fan so that your wiring doesn't melt from the dash. Let's move on to the interior where I've actually done the most work to. We've got here is a replica carbon fiber Recaro. I made these brackets to mount the seat, as you can see in a previous video. This here is a Chinese handbrake. It was like $50 Canadian to my door and it works awesome. I'm really happy with it. Customized it a bit to make it look cool. Steering wheel hub, and then we have a quick release hub for my steering wheel so that I can actually get in and out of the car because it's pretty tight in here with that seat and the steering wheel. And then basically just to make the car a little more street legal, I got a little horn button right about there. Yeah, of course you gotta have your fire extinguisher. That's actually mandatory where we drift. Last but definitely not least, I have a 3:9:1 ratio diff. I got it of a automatic 328i and I welded it, so it's got nice short gearing and it shreds the tires really nicely. So that is definitely one of the most important parts in my opinion to get you drifting consistently, is having a good welded diff. Now you can go with many ratios, but if you want to have good speed and good gearing, I would go with the 391 or the 373 for these Beamers. It'll be the best bet. As you can see, there really isn't that much done to my car. I haven't even gotten alignment yet because I'm waiting to do my coilovers. I have 0 angle mods, stock angle, stock engine, stock ECU. Eventually I will be doing a chip, I will be doing a full exhaust, I will be doing the angle and the coilovers and doing a proper alignment. But for now, this is what I've been drifting with. Enough of me blabbering along about this. Basically what I'm doing today is I'm gonna be putting my new fronts on, and also I'm gonna be adding a little bit of camber to the front. I'll show you what I got here. So this is all I'm gonna be using to get a little more camber out of the front. Loctite obviously is definitely a good call on this one. And these here are 4 M12 washers. All right, now I'm just gonna get started by jacking up the car and taking my front wheels off so I can add a little bit of front camber. This is gonna be negative camber. Well, I almost forgot to get a before shot of the camber. Before said spacers. As you can see, there's one bolt here and one on the other side there. And what I'm going to be doing is unbolting it and putting those washers in between this and this so it gives it some camber. Alright, so I also loosened this guy up here. These bolts are out on both sides, and I'm just going to take my pry bar and stick it in this gap down there and pry it open a little bit. Now that we got a gap there, I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna put some Loctite on these, slap those washers in there and tighten everything up, and then we got some more camber. Alright, now you can see the washer in there. I got these guys nice and tight with some Loctite on there. Now I just gotta tighten that top one there and we'll be good to go. But I can definitely see the difference, and that's all that matters. Alright, so it definitely isn't a huge difference, but nonetheless there is a little bit of camber added. So this is a $1 mod, guys. It's really cheap, and by no means am I saying do this because mod your car at your own risk. Basically, I'm not going to be responsible if something happens because you did something wrong anyways. And I really don't recommend adding more than one washer because there is a point where it starts to get unsafe, because you got to take into account there are only so many threads on that bolt. So if you're going to do it, just do one spacer just to give you a little more camber until you get coilovers or can afford to do a better job. But for $1, getting a little bit of camber is definitely worth it. Alright, now that that side's done, I'm going to go ahead and do the other side. I'm not going to show you that because you just saw what I did on this side. And then I'm going to go ahead and throw my new front tires on. I'll probably just throw some burners on the back and go see how it feels. We are back now. I had a stunt driver take over for me there, and he says the car feels really good, so that's sweet. Hopefully it feels good at the track for me. Anyways, that'll be it for today's video. I will be back. Hopefully I'll be making a video tomorrow with my friends working on their E36s, and then I will get some footage at the track this time. I promise it's gonna be sweet. So thank you for watching. Please give me a like, subscribe, and tell your friends about my channel that like cars too, because I need more subs, right? Of course. Let's go. Anyways, we'll catch you later. Bye.